Kevin O'Leary warns chaos is about to begin for U.S. economy. Wake up and smell the roses. We have a crisis emerging. I'm talking about companies with 5 to 500 employees, which represent over 60% of our economy. O'Leary said. If you're in the SP 500, you have no trouble financing your business. You can't say that about small business anymore. The cost of capital has gone through the roof. O'Leary warned that currently there are approximately 4,100 regional banks, and this will go down to 2,000 in the next 3 years, leaving people worried about putting their money in banks. If the market crashes like his boat, we are in trouble, boys. Is that the same Kevin O'Leary who was so sure about FTX being the future? Same Kevin O'Leary who couldn't see any of the many red flags with FTX is now telling us to wake up LMAO. Okay, Mr. Magoo. AKA Kevin O'Leary has a position that would benefit from a crash. O'Leary is a media personality masquerading as a businessman. He is hyping crypto now, so doom is his friend. I remember when Bill Ackman went on to news outlets at the start of the pandemic and urged all business to close indefinitely for the good of the people, but added that some fast food restaurants should stay open in case people get bored of the cooking at home. At the time he owned 5 of RBI, which owned Burger King, Tim Hortons and Popeyes. Kevin O'Leary might know what he is talking about, or he might be short regional banks and is now screaming fire. Kevin O'Leary is a fucking idiot. I don't like this bald fuck. Small biz owner here. Cost of capital is where it should have been 10 years ago. We've just been riding a zero interest wave that was unsustainable. Sure, my lock interest is up, but I'm just having to budget it in. The CRE exposure that most of the regional banks is a byproduct of keeping those rates so ridiculously low, and the rights parlaying since 2008 one loan into another. It's time for normal biz principles to come back into play, but they won't. Banks will get bailed out yet again. Since when are we polling Canadians for hot takes on the US economy? Also, how's that FTX deal working out, Mr. Wonderbread? Coming from the guy who bought in Meta FB the day before the 25-day drop. Who died and made him an economic expert? Cut back on your avocado toast, Kevin. Or use your 500 luxury watches as collateral for a loan. Or maybe your business plan should not be 1. Fund 100 startups. 2. Hope 5 become success unicorns. Wonder if he got his money back from SBF. Just BC his head is smooth and shiny like a crystal ball doesn't mean he knows the future. Kevin is so full of shit. He's been coasting off the TLC sale for 25 years. Remember, Kevin's wife was driving Smirk. Cool story, Kevin. Thanks. What do you expect us to do with our salaries being taxed to death? Services decreased and housing costs that triple in a decade? Weren't we already FCKED? How about we prepare by making CEOs take a massive pay cut? This dude is a big ETH crypto investor. O'Leary who cheated around with FTX. Oh yeah, whatever. I get the boat comment, but it was the idiots who sat without lights on in the middle of the only path out of a busy bay that were at fault. Wow. I guess in O'Leary's world, business can only finance growth by taking out loans instead of, being profitable. I work for a very successful 30-year-old privately held company that is debt-free and profitable. Never borrowed a dime. If we can't pay cash for something, we don't buy it. Yeah, I definitely agree that we're heading for a crisis. The cost of capital has gotten way too high and it's preventing small businesses from being able to grow. And with the number of regional banks shrinking, people are going to be even more hesitant to put their money in the bank. We could be headed for a really big crash if things don't turn around soon. All part of the plan. Small business? FCKM. Big banks buying little banks. FCKM. The few will rule the many and people don't seem to give a shit about that. The loudmouth is a joke among Wall Street. Tears of joy, as if someone like me who has very little to lose is going to be afraid of what someone like him who has a lot to lose preach about a financial crisis. I'm fucking done subsidizing these people's losses, and if I end up having to scrape squirrel off the road for dinner, it isn't going to be a huge change on my life. Fuck these guys and take them down with us. Kevin is as bald as the next coke rat. And his foray into crypto and even sponsoring bullshit things like that startup funding engine is some clickbait level shit. But while those are areas he probably shouldn't have gone into, the small business arena is actually an area he spends a lot of time building up. So hate him if you want, but remove the emotion and think if there is some truth to the fact small businesses have a harder time with loans, and is it a problem? Recessions usually start with the small businesses first. Just keep your eyes open for more signals. So up 15 by year end? Good. My life sucks. Hopefully chaos reigns. Can't wait. IMG emote T52TH52 4258 IMG emote T52TH52 4267. They are all crooks and play dirty games, don't trust them. I hope O'Leary loses his entire net worth from this. So do we take out exorbitant loans in the hopes it will not be repayable? Nah. Most small businesses will simply reduce their debt load, keep more cash, and reduce their exposure on credit terms. B2B credit will tighten. Things will still get done. As someone who works in banking, he might be exaggerating some, but he's overall right about the direction of things. Banks have been consolidating a lot. It's getting tougher and tougher to run a bank with under $1 billion in assets. Small business loans are getting more and more expensive. Well, all business loans are. But larger businesses are going to generally have more options. He's not saying anything particularly groundbreaking though. This is all widely known in the industry. Scaremongering crap from a BS artist. Just ignore. Anyone telling you anything financially means they have a vested interest in that perspective. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This is basically right-cut nonsense. I wish these losers would stop calling for a crash so the crash could actually happen. Every time O'Leary, Cassandra, or a Twitter nobody opens their mouth, the recession gets delayed 2 weeks. Who gives a shit about what that weasel says? If Kevin said to eat his poop, would you? Wow. Crazy to see Gerald gone from fighting monsters to sharing what Kevin O'Leary thinks. O'Leary is another one of these idiots that got lucky and thinks he's a genius. I wouldn't believe shit this guy says. I wouldn't believe him if he said it was raining and walked around soaking wet with an umbrella with raindrops. The only advice I would take from him is his dividend stocks purchasing rule. That's a solid one. Oh yeah, another TV personality giving you advice, huh, guys? Tune in to Dr. Oz for health advice too. Musical notes. Oh, what will we do with a drunken sailor? Musical notes. Kevin's position must be getting wrecked right now. Along with the doctors. Did anyone really think we were tanking before October? He could be right. He could be wrong. But it wouldn't be because he was actually well informed. Dude's a celebrity, not an economist. Kevin O'Leary also said Sam Friedman was legit. You back from crip walking?